This past Sunday night, the Rhodes Wrestling Academy 10th Student Showcase premiered on the Rhodes Wrestling Academy YouTube channel. I'm so honored and proud to be the voice of the Rhodes Wrestling Academy. Dustin's had me on that showcase doing the commentary, all 10 of them, including this past one. And I think I posted on social media, I think this one might be the best one that we've had so far. Just the way the talent, the kids that were, the students at the academy in this camp, the way they learned and what they applied on that showcase. And this showcase saw the crowning of brand new Rhodes Wrestling Academy Tag Team Champions. And the two men that won those titles join me in studio. It's Romero Cruz. It's RTJ. They are the RWA Outlaws, and they are now the RWA Tag Team Champions. What's up, guys? How you doing?
It just sounds so right when you say it like that. And let me just correct you real quick. The only Outlaws at RWA.
Well, now we'll get into that here in a bit, but that's okay. That's okay. Let me ask you, and I'll start with you. I'm gonna keep calling you El Rayo just because that's how we've known each other forever and ever a day. What does it mean to you guys? So Dustin debuts these brand new, beautiful tag team titles, and you guys are the first ones to hold them. What does that mean to you as far as the faith that Dustin Rhodes has in you, the fact that you guys have gelled as a tag team over the last couple years? Just talk about the fact that you are the first guys to hold these belts.
I mean, it means a lot to me. I mean, I've
Here, get close to the mic a little bit.
As you've seen, Stu, I've been at RWA for 2 years. Finished the camp 3. Tragic family event happened. Dustin called me back, and then that turned into me becoming a coach. And for the faith that he has in myself and my little brother RTJ to hold these titles, I mean that it's a great feeling. I mean, all the hard work, we finally get something to take around and build. Being the first champions, it's our job to build this belt to make it what we want it to be. So
right,
it's awesome.
Yeah, and RTJ, I mean I know it means something for you. Of course, you've got that Lucha League Southwest Championship around over your shoulder, but to be the first tag champions after the way this started, I mean you two were rivals. And as we have seen in the long and storied history of pro wrestling, sometimes the best rivals also become the best tag team partners. Talk about being, the RWA Tag Team Champion.
It's a great honor, first of all. I didn't think I would be in this position that I'm in. To do it alongside my big brother makes a big difference, especially with the history that we've had at RWA. People have seen us grow. I think they've seen us from start to finish. Him camp 3, me camp 6, me coming in and doing the things that I'm doing, and only getting better because he's by my side. Mm-hmm. If I didn't have him by my side, I wouldn't be where I am. Yeah. So to win this with someone that I respect so greatly, I mean, obviously I love him. He's my brother. But at the end of the day, I call him coach, and he deserves that. He earned that. So to win this with my coach, my friend, my brother, it's amazing. And we have a chance to make something of these titles, to make them worth something for people, not only in camps of RWA, but elsewhere, to want to come and have an opportunity to win these.
Well, and that's the thing, I suspect that these will be defended at future student showcases, but I got to imagine there will be the opportunity to defend these on the independent scene, and look, especially here in the state of Texas, we've got some fantastic tag teams.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Fly Def comes to mind. They've won tag titles in virtually every promotion in Texas. They were the Twin Dragon Connection champions and Inspire for quite a bit. Of course, ROW tag champs. They should be on TV. You've got the current Twin Dragon Connection champions in Inspire, Exodus Prime and Stephen Wolf, Superiority Complex. You got the Camachos. There are a litany of great tag teams. So, Romero, something I want to talk to you, because RTJ calls you the coach. You are a coach at the Rhodes Wrestling Academy, and I've known you for a long time. Going back to
7 years,
right? Back when you were at AAPW, and got to know you there. Of course, now getting being part of the Rhodes Wrestling Academy. What has being a coach under the natural Dustin Rhodes? What has that done to you, both personally and in the ring?
I mean, getting in there, I had great coaching at my previous school. I mean, I can't. Nobody can deny that. It's one of the best schools around, honestly.
Now, you were under George, right?
I was under George and Ray.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
So that that's amazing coaching there.
Mm-hmm.
And then just being able to refine that, honestly, under such a legend in the business. I mean, it's so cliche, right? You're polishing a diamond, right? And I don't think of myself as a diamond by any means, but that is kind of what was happening. Everything that I learned, I took into RWA, and Dustin was like, "Hey, that was good, but what if?" It was always those, "That's great, but what if?" moments, and it's just one of those things where it just like, wow, it takes a person like that to show you, hey, if you did it this way, it would be TV ready. If you did this, it would look better on TV. And it's just amazing getting to learn that from him. And outside of this, I mean, Dustin's probably one of the most funniest people I've ever met in my life.
Yes.
I mean, he can turn anything into laughter. He's amazing human being, but I mean, it lightens me up. I'm able to impersonate Dustin, and it really helps with promos. It just really helps all aspects of life, honestly.
And you're right. Dustin is one of the funniest guys out there. He and I have shared many a laugh over the many years that we've known each other. RTJ, I want to talk to you. So you were part of, you were originally part of Camp 3. You've come back all these times. What's the biggest thing you've learned since graduated from Camp 3 all the way up to, just now finishing Camp 10?
Yeah, so he's Camp 3, I'm Camp 6.
Camp 6, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
they run together. I've seen all 10 of them, so they kind of run together. Forgive me.
It feels like we've been partnering that long anyway.
Yeah.
But just the way he said it, refining the work. Like Dustin sees who you are, and he's never gonna try to change a wrestler that's come in with some previous experience. So I was lucky enough to be in El Paso and train under two people, CJ Campos and Aiden Colt, and I believe they gave me great basics. But Dustin really changed my whole psychology towards wrestling.
Yeah.
And listening to that man just talk about wrestling, and I've told Eric plenty of times, every car ride that we're having, every time people ask us, like, oh, what do you get from Dustin? It's the way he puts matches together. It's the way that he thinks about matches. Mm-hmm. There's something to a guy where he's going to forget more things than I ever learned in this business.
Oh,
yeah.
That's how long he's been a part of this.
Oh,
so for me just to listen to him, every little thing, whether it's a practice match that we're doing or it's something that we're watching, listening to him, that's what I've taken. Every little thing that he says, I may not apply it right then and there, but I always have it in the back of my mind, because if he's thinking it, that's something that he likes, and that's something that's going to make me better, because he's learned from so many different people. He is literally a wrestler that has wrestled in different generations and different eras of wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And he was successful in all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So why would I not take something that...
Yeah, he and I were talking about him and Sting teaming together way back when he was starting out in WCW back in the late 80s. Because I had just gotten back from Greensboro, seeing Sting's final match at AEW Revolution, and
what a match, by the way.
Oh, it was
amazing.
It was. I'll tell you now, and I've told a lot of people, it was to see Sting go out like that, and I've seen, and like I said, And I told Sting, seeing him debut as one half of the Blade Runners back in 1986 in Mid-South Wrestling, to follow his career every step of the way from there all the way to a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Not only was it magical, it was emotional, because he was up there with Dusty.
Oh,
for
absolutely.
me.
Absolutely.
That was one of my, and in fact, I got a chance to interview him a few years ago in Dallas, and it was one of the very few times that I have been starstruck in wrestling. Usually, wrestling, I get it, they're cool and everything, but it took me a moment to muster up the courage to go say, "Hi, I'm Stu Meyer, sports guy." Start, ask for an interview. Of course, absolute class. The two young men that you defeated for these titles, Wayne and Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
Now they call themselves the Texas Outlaws. Well, the first thing I want to ask is, when did you guys figure out that they are the nephews of Dustin and Cody?
So that's a great thing about being an assistant coach to Dustin.
Yeah.
I mean, Dustin kind of told me, hey, so and so, my nephews are going to be here. I need you to take care of them, and that's what I did. I mean, knowing Dustin for so long, I like to think I'm kind of an adopted member of the Rhodes family. And once I met those kids, it was like, hey, they're family. I got to make sure that they're safe. I want them to get good as quickly as they can, so one day when they're on TV, I can say, hey, I helped my little nephews get there. You know what I mean? So I knew early on in the game, and I was excited the whole time.
Yeah,
so.
It was. Go ahead, Archie.
So it's good for him to be the assistant coach, and it's good for me to be his roommate. I found out that same day. I was like, that's awesome.
The match that y'all had, and look, this was, for all intents and purposes, this was their first, work in the ring, being trained, going through the camp. The match was their very first match.
Barring practice matches.
Right. But still, this was, to me, and, look, I'm just a commentator.
Great commentator.
Thanks. I appreciate it. But it looked like for two guys coming out of Lago Vista High School, and Wayne is, I think Wayne's now at the University of Texas, and so to see these two guys pick up everything that they picked up and able to put together such a great match, and it was it's 2 out of 3 falls, 30-minute time limit, and it went, I want to say 27, right?
27 minutes.
They did pretty good.
They did.
Give me y'all's assessment. I mean, yeah, y'all got the win, but give me y'all's assessment of Wayne and Wyatt.
It's crazy. I know it's been said numerous times. Again, it's a cliche, but Stu, it's in their blood. 100%. I mean, it was insane putting the match together. And me, I'm like, oh, I love Dusty, I love Dustin, I love Cody. Do their stuff, and they're like, no, we don't. We want to step away from our family stuff, which I understand. But I'm like, man, this is you. Yeah. You saw it in the match, the bionic elbow. You saw the drop into the knee and the slap. Just the power slams. I mean, they weren't perfect. They weren't up to the level of their family, but the fact that they're doing it, and we saw the comments, people were popping for it on YouTube comments, and these guys trained so hard for 12 weeks. We were their first practice match, and right then and there, we knew. We were like, hey, Dustin, these are the guys. Yeah. We want to work them. And I mean, it was, again, not a perfect match. It was their first match. There's no way they could have had a perfect match. But for what we got and what they gave us in that match, I mean, it was unbelievable.
It was an entertaining match, RTJ. It was, and like I said, it was back and forth. You hit, all the different spots. I joked with him, they gave me a little bit of Von Erich vibe.
Absolutely.
Kind of David and Kevin back in the day. But, talk for a moment about working with the next generation of the Rhodes legacy.
Not to sound cliche, but they're naturals.
Yeah.
Seeing them, having that first practice match, I remember they were really nervous. And it was a practice match. Nobody was going to see it. The only person that was going to see it was Dustin. I mean, obviously, I'm never going to understand the pressure. Eric's never going to understand the pressure. Yeah. They have, a whole family legacy that they have to uphold to, right? And after that first practice match, man, it was just like, whoa, they have something. Now, they were deer in headlights. They listened to us. It was great. But, usually when you work with people who have only been in a 12-week camp, you have to carry them. Yeah. There was no carrying them. Mm-hmm. It was like, hey, are you guys ready to do this? And they were ready. And it was great. It was so easy. They're talented. And, 2 out of 3 falls. You can't get much higher than that for your first match.
Oh, man, and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Most of our first matches are 5 minutes.
Yeah, practically a half hour, yeah.
Half hour. And as I said, but they were in it the entire time. Mm-hmm. They were in it the entire time. They were still hitting great moves, keeping everyone safe. That right there is the seeds to the first rivalry in RWA.
Oh, yeah. So I mean, but it's funny how you bring up that they're a royal family and that they remind you of the Von Erichs, because I think RTJ and I were actually we're trying to call out the Von Erichs to defend these titles. Because I figure we take down one royal family, may as well take down another, right, Stu?
Ross and Marshall, they're just down the road in Bernie. Dustin worked with them when Dynamite was here in Austin.
It's funny you say that because it was against me.
You were part of that. That's right.
I need my revenge.
Look, I love you guys. I love Dustin. I also love. I've known Ross and Marshall for a while.
They're great.
They're my guys.
Great guys.
So it was truth be told, it was really cool. Plus, when Dustin told me it was the last time a Rhodes and a Von Erich had tagged together 40 plus years ago, and just happened to be Dustin's father and Ross and Marshall's father.
Yep.
The late great Dusty Rhodes and Kevin Von Erich. That sends chills.
Oh, absolutely.
That's just chills in the back of your neck. And
imagine Dustin telling you that right before you go out in front of 16,000 people.
Yeah.
I mean, hey buddy, last time the Von Erichs and the Rhodes partnered together was my dad and their dad.
Yeah.
Hey, go have fun. I'm like, come on, what? What are you doing?
I mean, look, I was just standing there, and I was like, okay, this is a special moment.
Absolutely.
So.
And those guys couldn't be two of the best guys. I mean, there could not be two better guys in this planet than
You're
Ross
absolutely right.
and Marshall. They're such great guys. I mean, so respectful.
They're wonderful.
Absolutely. We prayed before the match. It's just it was awesome just to work with them, be in the same ring with them.
I tell you what, they like I said, I've known them for quite a few years now. Watched them in Major League Wrestling and some of their other pursuits, and I've gotten to know them over the years, and that would be a fun match. See you two against Ross and Marshall.
Think about what you're saying. It's been 40 years since probably the most famous of the Rhodes family, Dustin and Kevin. They tagged, right? They're continuing their family legacy. Dustin, I don't know if he knew his nephews were gonna come in, but he trusted us with giving us the Outlaw name. Everything that Dustin learned, he learned from Dusty, and he's passing it on to us. Obviously, we're not sitting next to him getting extra information, but he's trusted us enough to carry not only his family's old tag name, but also his school's name. So that wouldn't just be a big match for us, or it wouldn't be just a big match for RWA. That would be history in the making for Texas Independent Pro Wrestling.
Absolutely.
The Rhodes family, the Von Erich family. I mean, who wouldn't want to see it?
I agree. Be cool. Romero Cruz, RTJ, the RWA Outlaws, the RWA Tag Team Champions. Guys, appreciate you coming by. Thanks for the time.
And thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
My pleasure. And we'll talk again soon.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Thank you so much.